is a pleasure to introduce myself as a key member of the Contract Chain team. Contract Chain is a service that is aimed at the notarial profession to certify and attach documents to deeds with the help of blockchain. Already a few questions will arise. Why would notaries opt not to use blockchain when they know how to perform their duties without it? And why use this tool when notaries are legitimate and recognized as trusted third parties? Before answering these questions, let's start by defining what we are talking about and by asking a simple question. What is blockchain and what is it used for? When searching blockchain on Google, and we've exhausted ourselves, here's what I find. Blockchain technology is a new version of the internet that allows decentralized recording of digital information on blocks through distributed nodes that are stored in a chain to provide the network with a secure and immutable platform. These blocks enable peer-to-peer transactions, giving users a decentralized platform that is maintained and managed by consensus. We just realized it was a complex technological object. Personally, I believe technology is secondary and that it is a machine that primarily influences users and behaviors. Let me explain. Let's start from the purpose, not its functioning. Blockchain certifies data. She says on such day, such time, this data is in such state, and she doesn't know how to do anything else. If there was only one thing to remember, it would be this. Let's go a bit further. Data on the blockchain can be a transaction. This is the use case of cryptocurrencies. Jean owes Paul 1 Bitcoin, and this is recorded on the blockchain. But the data can be of a completely different nature. We will focus on the most common use for you, securing a document. Well, we have long known how to put a material good in physical comfort, and more recently, to place a file in digital comfort. When we remove this document, unless it's on paper or electronically signed, it's no longer secure. Nothing guarantees its integrity anymore. If this document is digital and in an open format, such as Excel or Word, it is editable and therefore cannot be considered an original. Yesterday, problem unsolved. To resolve it, we'll attempt jointly to establish a public blockchain. I'll send all of you a Word document via email. Obviously, the state, I cannot prevent anyone from modifying it. We will therefore agree on a protocol and apply 3 rules. First rule, the original file will be the one in the majority among ours. Since we are many, it's a good start. But it's not enough. Nothing stops me from calling and trying to corrupt each of you. Excuse the term, but this blockchain is public and it is possible that you are not a notary. Then ask you to modify the document. Second rule, we will connect our computers together in order to enable them to query each other and check if any of us have made any modifications to the data. And if one of us does it, it's the third rule, well, his file will be automatically replaced by the majority one. That's it. Look for a flaw in this simple protocol. Many have searched for 10 years and found none. Let's agree this protocol is about social or behavioral sciences as much as computer science. We have just created a blockchain that we understand will be more secure the more it is extended. Today, the most solid blockchain brings together around 10,000 members. To add an ultimate layer of security and to ensure that the data holders are individually incorruptible, it is necessary to specify that the competition in which they are engaged encourages them to invest in very expensive and often energy-intensive computer equipment in order to have a chance of being remunerated in cryptocurrency. To avoid being recognized as cheaters and to avoid risking their investment, they must individually be faithful to the protocol. As compensation for the work they perform, their obligation is to ensure the security and integrity of the blockchain network and its associated data. This is a vital question. Let's consider contract chain. What she puts in the blockchain is visible to others. What others deposit there is just as accessible. Among other terms, everyone can monitor everyone. And it is precisely in this that this machine is virtuous. The one who cheats is certain to get caught with their hand in the cookie jar. But this accessibility, if data stored there, would pose a clear flaw, data accessible to all. That is why only the digital fingerprints of the documents are stored in the blockchain. By the way, what is a digital footprint? In the real world, the equivalent is my fingerprint. I place it in the blockchain and only I, with my index, can prove I'm the original. In the digital world, due to file duplication, you can send an unprotected document to someone and suggest comparing it with the blockchain technology. If not modified, blockchain will respond to this document in this state, certified on that day, at that time. And if you don't have the document, querying the blockchain will only give you access to unreadable and therefore unusable data. To continue the parallel, I can't recreate myself from my fingerprint. If you still worry, let's discuss blockchain limitations. On this topic, media is silent, but it's still tech in all its forms. BTW, you'll still read a lot. Blockchain could do this. It'll know how to do that. Let's judge facts, not comments. Due to infrequent use cases, applications remain rare. Additionally, the machine is still feared or misunderstood, or it is implemented in use cases that lack meaningfulness. Let's take the following case with a touch of mischief. I am writing a beautiful notary diploma on Word. Found INFN logo online, converted to PDF, uploaded to blockchain for secure storage. I made a mistake. He is certified, but he is still just as false. The blockchain therefore cannot create an authentic document. And this word should speak to you. She is now unquestionably reliable, but it lacks some qualities. Legitimacy, legal culture, ethics, and broader intelligence are crucial aspects to take into account. Are you relieved? If we take this example again, what is the obvious consequence? Since the blockchain never erases anything, I take the risk of forever being recorded as a forger. Can I take such a risk? Maybe or maybe not. After all I would have to do is destroy my fake original so that it can no longer be confronted with blockchain evidence. I will have wasted my time. On the other hand, if I pass it on, then I expose myself. Let's take another more efficient example. I am the INFN. I store on the blockchain the digital fingerprints of my students' diplomas, and I perform this task annually. I give these same diplomas to my students, publicly specifying, for example on my website, their blockchain imprint and their redating date. Later, the graduates can make unlimited copies. When interacting with the blockchain, it will respond with either a yes or a no. Moreover, for more accessibility and transparency, why wouldn't I display on my website a document upload area that would instantly respond with "This document is an original"? And let's go all the way. We'll mark it in red, "This document is a fake." There you go, it's done. With blockchain, you can no longer cheat. In summary, instead of questioning the machine and its reliability, we must question the quality of the person who certified a data. And that's where the off-chain world, of which you and I are a part, finds or retains its prerogatives. We can also mention blockchain applications in logistics, which are being discussed a lot. Flaws are off-chain, just as numerous as without blockchain, by the way. Always someone sticks or removes QR code on crate of tomatoes. Private blockchains developed based on the model of public blockchains, but by removing decentralization of power, cryptocurrency, energy-consuming mining, and the Chinese. The code is the same, but the foundations differ. Let's discuss the differences, starting with the simplest one, the economic model. Public blockchains self-finance through monetary creation. Private blockchains decide to deprive themselves of this resource. In this regard, all private blockchains have developed with voluntary or contributory financing. A large majority did not survive the price issue when it came to financing them solely through transactions. On the other hand, there are many public blockchains, more or less serious. Like private blockchains, those that find a market endure, those that grow consolidate, and those lacking financing perish. Finally, let's talk about governance. Instead of being decentralized, the rules are defined by a group of individuals. In the case of the notarial blockchain, its governing bodies have established rules, and each minor notary has agreed to abide by them. The question is not therefore technical, but is limited to the question, can I rely on this institution? The response is clearly identical to that without blockchain. If it is a bank pool, my response will be negative, uncertain. If it is a pool of banks and insurers, I am still hesitant. If it is a pool of large-scale distribution, no, I am really not interested. And in the case that it is a notary, or even the state, my answer remains unchanged, neither more nor less than it was before this moment in time. If I were a promoter of these blockchains to encourage adoption, I'd try adding openness to others. It could be categorized into two types, namely usage and governance. What will I lose if I make this blockchain usable for deposit and consultation by servers, or even accessible to all citizens? After all, isn't it for them that I work? Why not provide them with a service and, in the process, alleviate the feeling of distrust that too many citizens have towards the law? What would I lose by expanding my governance body to other institutions? In your environment, we could mention the Caisse des Dépôts, bailiffs, auditors, lawyers, magistrates, the Banque de France, Annecy. More broadly, it is probably necessary to ask the following question. Who do they naturally trust? With more ambition, scaling up to the EU level, creating Eurocoin to counter Bitcoin, and financing my blockchain, public or private, differently than through taxes. Well, I am possibly going too far or too quickly. Let us return back down to earth. Let's agree that if the blockchain, whether public or private, lets you do the same thing as yesterday, for example, this document is an original, but in a different way, then we can question its usefulness. All the effort, all the time and energy invested, all for this, you might say, is it really worth it in the end? Well, if the blockchain allows to offer a new service that you couldn't provide without it, then it should be looked at with interest. To speak only of my service, of which the blockchain is just one component, it may one day be the notarial blockchain, where actions and documents are traced. Your clients can verify independently of you and me. You earn the trust of your clients more than you impose it. The documents undergo thorough checking before they are signed. Consent cannot be more informed than this. We remove even hardware errors. You can index and therefore sign thousands of documents and gigabytes of data in native format and therefore exploitable by your clients. The purpose of your actions is thus more qualified. For clients, I believe it's significant. In conclusion, I believe that the blockchain must be kept without fear and with discernment. She provides a service. He finds it useful, I'll take it. It is only used for display, and where off-chain vulnerabilities persist, I discard. There you go. I hope I've shared a clearer vision of a tool that has more impact on behaviors than on documents and proves to be less of a competitor to the notarial profession than may have been said. Thanks for listening. Looking forward to continuing.